The court has ruled in favour of the family of Zambia's late former president, Edgar Lungu, setting aside an earlier High Court order and affirming the family's right to determine his final resting place. This judgment not only halts the Zambian government's efforts to repatriate his remains for a state funeral, but also raises some important questions about family, autonomy, state authority, and the cross-border application of law. Of course, we are trying to get some reaction from the Zambian government as we look, of course, to see what the impact is and what is at stake. Of course, just looking to get some clarity around the second guest, Chanoda, on the line. Of course, Chanoda will have to tell us his full name and title here. But we were battling to get hold of Zambia's information minister. Chanoda, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mpho. And my name's Chanoda Ngwira. I'm the spokesperson of the Kumawa Development Coalition. At the same time, I am the national chairman in charge of labor and social services under the opposition Tonse Alliance, and of course, a close ally to the family of the late President Edgar Lungu. Thank you so much for hosting me.
And thank you so much for giving us that clarity and depth. Perhaps let's start here with the court's decision. I mean, what is the reaction on the ground? This has been such a long process, a lot of back and forth, a lot of court matters, and I would imagine that a lot of emotional toil when it comes to the family.
Yeah, the other thing is that, as you can see, I mean, the bush, we are actually having our elections in the next month or so in August. So please don't mind me. Coming to your question, I think I'm quite elated. The Zambian people are quite elated. The people of the Eastern Province, where President Edgar Lungu hailed from, are very excited. Indeed, like you've alluded to, it has been a hectic period. It has been a very, embarrassing 12 months regards the remains of President Edgar Lungu.
Yeah.
I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the Supreme Court of Appeal of South Africa for finally giving, the Lungu family justice. And I want to also thank government for actually saying they are not going to appeal against this decision. I think this could have been done, I think, few days after President Lungu died. But unfortunately, like you've said, it has been a tedious, actually frustrating period of 12 months plus. But I'm very happy. And as spokesperson for Umozi Kumawa, an organization that represents the people of Eastern Province, we are very happy and we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sure you can see that I'm smiling because at least finally our former president can be given a befitting burial on the foundation of what the family wanted and also what the deceased indeed desired.
Okay, as you say that this is essentially what the deceased desired, because there had been claims that former President Lungu was very clear about where he wanted to be laid to rest. And as someone who knew him, someone who's in contact with the family personally, how certain are you that this decision reflects what he truly wanted? And if that is the instance, why would he have chosen South Africa as opposed to Zambia?
I'll be honest with you. I can confirm, as a person that was quite close to him, and I know the late President Edgar Lungu, and in terms of the way he was treated, I think and I know that he wouldn't want to, be buried by the people, the very people that mistreated him, the very people that delayed his medical checkups, the very people that actually never allowed him to get outside the country for his treatment. So on that part, I can confirm that those were his wishes. And regards the choice of where he wants to be buried, South Africa and Zambia has been, sister countries for a long time. I'm sure history tells us that, the freedom fighters from South Africa, the Mbekis, and many others, the Zumas and all that, actually found a residence in Zambia whilst fighting, against apartheid. So we are a sister or brother and sister. And so I think I would rather be buried at my sister's place than choosing any other. I'm not saying that these other countries are not our sister countries, but what South Africa and Zambia shares is something that is beyond what any person can imagine. So that is the right place.
And for many people who have been watching the reaction that's come with it, the gasps that have come with, why not let him rest in peace once and for all of this has looked like more than just a legal debate. How difficult has it been for the family and those close to watch such a deeply personal matter playing out so publicly?
I'll be honest with you, Mpho. How I wish I was on the side of government. Probably I could have known the reasons why this happened. Because, culturally, regards our norms, it is the family that decides where, how, and why they have to bury their relative. And in this case, the Lungu family simply followed what the deceased said. So government came in to disturb that. I'm sure you are aware that there were those negotiations.
Yes.
Let's say, take the body, and the family accepted. But the government did not accept the conditionalities that were attached, to the acceptance by the family to have, President Lungu be buried in Zambia. So I think for me, it all falls on, government. And I want to say that finally that they've accepted to have President Lungu be buried in whichever way or wherever. I think now it seems government has realized that the mistakes that they were making in the last 12 months were actually baseless. They were actually, unreasonable. So this is good news, to be honest with you.
And this is a concern, of course, there has been some concern that this dispute has now risked overshadowing former President Lungu's legacy. Is there such a concern that people may remember the controversy around his death, perhaps even more than Lungu's contribution to Zambia?
I think the delayed burial is actually part of the legacy that President Edgar Lungu has left. Why I'm saying so is because I don't think there's been any president that has died from any country in the world that his or her burial has delayed for over a year. I think for me, I say kudos, to the spirits and,
Oh, I think we may have lost our guest. On the line there was...
it might be.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I think for me, it's part of the legacy. I think the man has shown, the fight. He has fought even in death. After 12 months of struggle, but still more, he has said, my desires must be fulfilled. So Edgar Lungu is going to be buried a proud man because he fought both in life and he fought both in death as he was trying to, fight for his burial.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for that. That was Chanoda Ngwira, who's a close friend to the late former president of Zambia, Edgar Lungu.